And basically, right, you could kind of give auditors a guideline, or CPAs a guideline in terms of what you would expect of them, what the profession expects of them, and why it's important. So why do you think it's important that we address this from a profession standpoint? Because I'm sure all of us in here, we feel we're ethical. Do you think it's necessary to have professional standards dealing with it, and why? Any thoughts? Why would it be important to address this from a professional standpoint? From the profession standpoint? Because you're all ethical, right? We all think that. No one here would ever cheat on their taxes or take a ticket and tear it up, run a red light. What do you think? Why is it important to address this? What's important about a profession? What's important about our profession, or the profession you're about to enter? Integrity, right? What else? Why do we even care as auditors? Why would the regulators even care? What's unique about us? Ella? Right, it could impact the decisions of others, right? So basically, people are relying, right, on the auditor's report, for an example, right? So when the auditor issues an opinion about the company's financial statements, or an opinion related to the company's financial statements about whether or not those financial statements are free of material misstatements, that they've been prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, someone's relying on that, right? They're making a decision based on that. And so they have to believe that the person, the auditor who is providing that opinion, has integrity. And we want to address this from the code, a code of professional conduct, because we're all different in terms of our morals, right? We have different upbringings, we come from different cultures, some of us, right? So for the profession is that you should have this minimum level of ethical standards, right? This minimal level that as a profession we adhere to, right? So that there's no, because how many of you, I don't know if do you have to take philosophy? Have you dealt with ethics, or did you have to take an ethics class in the business school? So are you familiar with that scenario? They always use this as an example and to talk about ethical dilemmas, or as an example of ethical dilemmas, where there was a man whose wife was gravely ill, and she needed some medicine. They couldn't afford to buy the medicine. It's a classic one, right? And we didn't have the Affordable Care Act, and so he stole the medicine. How many of you would say that this person should go to jail versus this person was justified? He's trying to save his wife's life, right? So, we are in this law and order society, which, stealing we shouldn't do, right? There's that you shouldn't steal. You could go to jail for stealing. It's wrong. But then you have this other situation where this person's her life was at risk, and he wanted to save his wife. So some people would probably sympathize with him and say, we shouldn't send him to jail. He didn't do it out of malice. He didn't do it for, on personal gain. He was trying to sell someone's life. But you can see how if you are a person who has this law and order, you might hate to send him to jail, but you adhere to the law, right? So we would all approach that. It's possible that we might all approach it very differently and have very different opinions about how it should be handled. So it's important for the profession to have this minimum set of standards, this code of professional ethics, to try to navigate our own personal ethical